From the BBC World Service, in association with ABC and Akashvani, this is Stumped.
Hello and welcome to Stumped, your intercontinental hit of news, features and debate from the quirky world of cricket. I'm Nikesh Ragani for the BBC in Leicester in the middle of England. And I've been on a diet of lots and lots of T20 cricket so far over the last few months. There's been the IPL, there's been the T20 World Cup. I don't know about everybody else, but I think I'm due for a little bit of a change in my consumption. I'm ready for the English Test season, which is just around the corner, and the weather's looking good at the moment.
Well, I'm glad it's looking good where you are, Nikesh. Jim Maxwell for the ABC in Sydney. It's freezing down here as we start our winter. In fact, we've had unusually places that don't normally freeze over in the snowy mountains doing exactly that. Anyway, we've got Jimmy Anderson to look forward to in a few days' time, and that's worth waiting for.
I'm Charu Sharma for Akashvani in Bangalore. All of a sudden, I was doing the Andhra Premier League, another T20 tournament in Vizag, a beautiful city in the eastern coast of India, and all of a sudden there was a 2-day gap. And here I am. I thought I'd make a quick dash home and do this program, as I say, in the IPL, although that was for watching from the comfort of your own home. Great to be back for a couple of days. And you're right about the whole T20 thing. I think in India, though, Nikesh and Jim, it's going to take a very long time for this T20 World Cup win to die down, because all sorts of celebrations have already happened, many more lined up.
Yeah, I'm sure those celebrations will go on and on. Welcome to Jim and to Charu, of course. The T20 World Cup then, as you mentioned, will be deemed a success for many reasons. And for the Oman captain, Aqib Ilyas, his dream of playing at the tournament nearly didn't happen. We'll speak to Aqib later on in the programme. But first, we'll start with the thrilling T20 World Cup final, which saw India narrowly beat South Africa in a very tense encounter to end their 11-year wait for a major ICC trophy. Take us back to last weekend and your thoughts on that Indian fight back towards the end of that South African innings.
Well, I'll take you back all the way to 2007, which was a bit of a surprise because nobody really knew what was going on at that point of time. If that was a surprise, this one, a miracle. You're right that India, even the men and the women, have gotten to a few finals and then lost their way. But getting to this one unbeaten, you could argue that they were firm title favourites. But the way that match went, I think they were at least 20-25 short when they batted first. And then, of course, we all know the drama of the last, well, let's say half an hour or so, 25 minutes. It just was nothing short of a miracle. The Indian spinners, who we thought might be the heroes, were eventually not. It was the medium pacers, in fact, the fast bowling of Jasprit Bumrah particularly, that was just, it had some otherworldly situation there, because how well did he bowl? And to me, it looked like South Africa had said, all right, he's going to bowl these really terrific overs, as always. Let's see him out. And that could have worked because he needed only a run a ball with some of the best batsmen, T20 batsmen of the world at the crease. There was no way. I was sitting with colleagues and watching, and they didn't quite appreciate the fact that I said, with 13, 30 or 25, approximately in 25, I said, India, about 2 or 3%, and South Africa, 95, 97%. And they all got hold of me and saying, what's wrong with you? Don't you believe in your team? I said, no, that's just looking at the situation. I mean, conventional wisdom would indicate that India were dead and buried. So I say, a near miracle, of course, fashioned by Bumrah particularly, Arshdeep as well, Hardik too, because, might have not bowled a fabulous delivery, but got the wicket. And of course, how can people forget that superb Surya Yadav catch, which was perhaps an inch or two away from the boundary, and superbly done. So things came together for India. They might have been title favourites, but this was just somehow, snatching, well, use a cliche, victory from the jaws of defeat.
Yeah, I mean, look, fate is a big belief in that part of the world, and it seemed as though it was written just the way things went in those last 5 overs from an Indian perspective. Jim, South Africa, from their point of view, they needed 30 from 30. They got that down to less than a run a ball at one stage, 27 from 28, eventually 26 from 24 when things really started to go wrong for them in that chase of 177 to win the match, to win the competition. It brings back a lot of painful memories for South Africa. Yes, they managed to get over the semi-final hoodoo, get into a final for the first time in a World Cup, but many are still going to be wondering how the hell did they lose that final? I mean, Klaasen was going so well. Miller was going pretty well at the end. What was the turning point for you?
Probably when Klaasen got out, because up until that point, they were breezing into it. And he chased a very wide ball after that timeout with Pant getting wrapped up by the Ambos with his injury. But from there, it was really, it was about that much. It was a centimetre, a millimetre, that boundary catch. That's how close it was. Had he had put his boot onto the sausage down there, it would have been a six. So that's how close it all was. But for all that, it was an extraordinary performance by India. And throughout the tournament, to me, the key bowler so often was Bumrah. I mean, he is one of the great strike bowlers. I mean, he hits the stumps a lot. And when he bowled Janssen there, that was a big moment. I don't think Janssen knew what was going on. It was quick, it hit the right length, just wobbled a bit and hit his leg stump. And he did the same at the start of the innings with Markram's dismissal. So that was a feature for India throughout.
Now, Charu, we'll talk about Virat Kohli, of course, in a moment, but I wanted to talk about the redemption of Rohit Sharma, the Indian captain, of course, in his final T20 international. Not in great form during the IPL. He'd been dropped from the captaincy of the Mumbai Indians, of course, as well, in favour of Hardik Pandya, who, again, another redemption for him, I suppose, with the way he came out and bowled in that final over. What a way for Rohit Sharma to bow out, though. As captain of his country, he's had the heartbreak of November 2023 in the ODI World Cup final, the World Test Championship final, of course. He's been to a couple of finals in the last 12 months or so, and finally getting over the line. What a way to bow out.
Yeah, I suppose his personal redemption was when he scored those runs against Australia. That was a really big one too. So collectively, yes, the whole Indian team delighted because it was so close and yet so far eventually. Hardik too, professionally and personally has been in quite a bit of a hole the past few months, and he's alluded to that by saying the last 6 months have been very, very difficult for me. But the win of the World Cup will lift everybody collectively. I think India will rejoice, but if you look at it individually, Rohit Sharma, possibly one of the most devastating match winners batting early in white ball cricket, without doubt. Now, he might have had a poor World Cup by his own standards, but nobody will claim that he lacks the kind of class to lead India, either with the bat or, of course, as the captain, because there's a lot said about his captaincy. I know I'm the first one to say that the captain really is as good as his own contribution. But he is a calm personality, and I think that the whole team appreciates the Rohit's leadership. As we all know, Rohit Kohli and even Ravindra Jadeja have now decided they're not going to play international T20s anymore. But I think their T20 career in terms of the leagues is going to continue to glitter. The big thing about winning a World Cup, especially in our part of the world where I suppose they don't do it too often, and cricket's so big that our love for the game is not commensurate with the number of titles. So when a title is brought home, it's going to ripple for months, if not a couple of years, till they win the next title, whenever they do. For Rohit, a very, very big moment, without doubt. As a leader of the team, I mean, for everyone in the team, it was very big. But for Rohit personally, I mean, I think the hitman has become, I'm going to use that word a little lightly, do forgive me, a bit of a legend in Indian cricket now, with leading the team to a T20 World Cup after many years, as you mentioned, perhaps 13 now, the last title.
Rohit Sharma, Virat Kohli, number 1 and number 2, respectively, on the all-time list of T20 international run scorers. Jim, Kohli's obviously a massive figure in your part of the world, in Australia. They seem to love him there. They seem to love him everywhere, to be honest, but very well respected down there. How will he be remembered in this T20 World Cup winning team? Because he didn't have a great tournament, but he showed up when it mattered.
Well, batting's a bit of a terminal experience, isn't it? You can have one mistake and you're out, and he's had a few of those in this tournament. So thankfully for him and for India, he was able to come up with a performance in the match that mattered most. And we, from an Australian viewpoint, look forward to seeing him playing some Test cricket, hopefully at the end of the year, because I think if I look at it from an Australian point of view, it's still pretty much a matter of T20 is a bit of fun and everything else, but it's the Test matches that really matter. Come on, folks.
Right, staying with the T20 World Cup, there was a period in Aqib Ilyas's life where he thought his cricket career was over. He was diagnosed with cancer and needed 18 months away from the sport. Fast forward to 2024, where despite having complicated surgery, Aqib not only recovered, but captained the Oman team at the T20 World Cup. A wonderful story, and I'm delighted to say that we can speak to Aqib now. Aqib, welcome to Stumped. In that moment that you were told some life-changing news, what was going through your mind then when the doctors explained the scan results to you?
Yeah, obviously it was one of the worst time in my life. I was doing my peak performances for my team Oman, and I was among the top associate players at that moment. And few of the franchises, they approached me for the franchise league, but unfortunately I had to reject them due to this issue. So the thing is, when I came back from Pakistan, we had a camp for World Cup qualifiers. It was the qualifiers Oman was going to play in, which was very important for us. And I had some issue with my leg in the training. I wasn't able to run properly. So I spoke to one of my physios that I am going through some issue. I'm not able to run properly. So he said, might be you have gained a lot of weight. So that is the issue. I said, no, before in the past also I have gained weight, but I'm able to run. This pain is something different from what I used to have before. So it's totally different. Then he said, okay, fine, you go for an X-ray and you just check if some issue is there with the bone. The moment I went for the X-ray, I came back and I showed him the reports. So he said, brother, I can see your leg is swollen. I said, this is from lots of years. This leg is swollen from a lot of years, but I don't think so. This is the issue. So he said, you just go through the blood scan and all. And we had leagues of legend in Oman. So the top physio, they came from them. When I showed them the reports, he said, I think you have to go for a blood test and you have to go for the X-ray, for the scan. It's from the X-ray, we can't tell anything, because we can see the bone is swollen and it's visible. So the moment I went for the scan to the hospital with one of my friends, as my family was not here, family was back in Pakistan, I did my scan and the doctor was sitting in front of me. The moment he saw my reports, he said, brother, being very honest, there is tumor in your bone. And at the moment, we can't tell it's benign or it's malignant, but it's something very scary for you. So you have to operate it as soon as it is possible. And that very year, one of my friend passed away due to the same issue. He had the same leg swollen and he passed away. And I recently visited his funeral and came back. And that was very scary for me. The moment I came back, my brother, my only younger brother was here next to me. So I was very quiet and very scared at that moment. And one of my cousins, who's very first cousin, he was very close to me. He came up and he said, "Yaar, this is the first time I've seen you sad in my whole life. Is everything fine with you?" Then, I remembered my mother. I thought about her because she wasn't also well at that moment. And it was very scary that how I'm going to inform that doctors have said you have tumor. So I started, some tears came out, though I'm very strong, but still, he said some issue is there. Tell us what the issue is. That is the moment I told them that I am facing a tumor. I'm not sure at what level it is, but I am facing one and I have to undergo a surgery. So then our chairman, obviously, I spoke at my home. My parents were very scared. They were already, they have, sugars and blood pressures. And that is the moment they were very scared that our son, he's too young and he's facing all this issue. So then my chairman, Mr. Pankaj, he helped me a lot. He backed me a lot. Even at that stage, I wanted to play for my team for World Cup qualifiers. I spoke to him. I said, sir, I just want to participate. In 3 days' time, we are going to play the World Cup qualifiers. Let me play 3 games, and if I do well for the team, it's good. Then he said, no, I can't take a risk on you because 2 things are possible. Either it can spread a lot, you never know from how long it is. And the second thing is one of Indian national player was there. I remember he used to represent India. I forgot his name, unfortunately, but he had the same issue with the bone. And during one of the games in India, he broke his leg because his leg was weak enough and he broke his leg. And since then, he wasn't able to move properly. So he was even present over there because it was League of Legends and he was there to play for India. So that is the time he said, you don't have to take a lot of risk for this game. You come back, you recover back as you have a lot of talent. You can come back and perform well again.
Nice to see the smile back on your face, Aqib. This is Charu Sharma from Bangalore. I can't even imagine what you would have gone through, all sorts of life-changing experiences. But I'm glad you mentioned my friend Pankaj Khimji. And of course, I also know Paul Sheridan really well. And I'm so glad that Oman cricket is doing well, getting to the World Cup. And you yourself, your journey, incredible, almost a miracle, really. Give us some of your learnings and experiences of leading Oman at the World Cup, because obviously Oman now needs to build from there.
Yeah, obviously it was one of the best experience, playing among the top sides and playing the best stage. You never being growing up. That is the biggest stage you can ever perform on. You can ever participate in. So this is not something that happened overnight. It's a long process. Oman is being into the qualifiers from 2016, 2017, and then it kept on going. But now it was the time we qualified into the main stage, and there is a lot of positives to take. Being very honest, it's a fact thing. When you come up against team like Australia, against England, lots of things keep going in your mind that you never know. They might be totally different. Their level must be too different. Obviously, they are top class players. That is why they are world champions or they are among the top sides. But once we were there at the field, we had this confidence that against Australia, there was a time we were thinking that we are into the game and we can win the game. Unfortunately, two drop catches of Stoinis within the double digit score. He was at 3 or maybe 5 when we dropped a catch, and then he was on 7 when he dropped another catch. After that, he took on one team. Otherwise, anything was possible. Maybe Australia could have been restricted to 130s, 140. The target would have been different. It was easy for us to chase that target. So many positives to take. A lot of people, they appreciated us all over the world. Though I personally feel we didn't do really well. We had more talent in the batting squad. Myself, I could have got more runs for the team. But yeah, speaking to the top players, having Mitchell Marsh around, having Moeen Ali, Adil Rashid, speaking to all of the top players around, that how this goes. So they said it's very simple. It's just the mental game. You have to be mentally very strong, and there are few things, few skills you have to work on, few things you have to work on, and with time, your team is going to grow up. And they really appreciated us, that the way how we played and how we represented. They said we can see that you have more skills. You can do much better at this stage, but obviously this is the first time. You have a lot of pressure. So still, you guys, we appreciate you guys, and yeah, it was a whole full month of motivations for us.
Jim Maxwell in Sydney. Akib, I just want to reflect on one of the highlights of that game for you and, your team, I'm sure, in celebration, was the catch you took to get rid of Glenn Maxwell. Now, come on, reflect on that with a smile. It must have been something special for you.
Before the game, I wanted something to do in this game because I wanted to give my best against Australia. So leading the side, you have to be in the front. The moment Maxwell came in, we had a good grip of the game. And the moment he came in, I knew this is the guy who can change the game, because Australia is playing with the strike rate, maybe with the economy of 4 runs per over. At that moment, they were really low. The moment he came in, I knew that he's going to charge from the first ball. And I honestly, I said to one of my teammates that next over I was going to bowl, and I was really dropping my leg spinners really good. So I said, I'm going to get him out. He's my wicket. But unfortunately, Mehran bowled in, and I was at the covers, and I felt that the ball is going towards me. And I never knew it was a catch going to come toward me, but I knew that he's going to take a single toward me. And I was really up in the circle. And, within seconds, the ball came in and I was in the air. The moment I took the catch, I knew first thing was Maxwell is gone. First thing, it's a big relief for us. Maxwell is gone. But after that, the second thought came is that this is going all over the world now. And this is what happened when I came back. The whole night I couldn't sleep. There were messages, calls from everywhere. And honestly, in my village, they don't follow cricket much. In my village, they don't follow cricket much. But even from my place, everyone messaged, everyone called, brother, we saw you at the TV, you were in the air, and this and that. It was like a puma, they have the tiger in the air. It was something similar. So it was really good, one of the best feelings. And even after the World Cup, it keeps coming on the screen. It keeps coming every time there is a break. During the rain, they keep showing the best catches. Even now, among the best catches, it was there. So every other day someone posts me, and it's a lot of motivation for me. When I think, yeah, maybe I could have done better in batting, maybe bowling, I could have done more better. But that is the time someone sends me the video and I see at least this is the best thing, among the top things.
Well, Akib, I wish you all the best for all your future endeavours, not only individually, but as a team. Oman certainly lit up some wonderful moments at that T20 World Cup. Thanks for joining us here on Stumped.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Well, that's all we've got time for on this week's Stumped on Akashvani. Don't forget, you can follow us on Twitter. We are at BBCWS Sport, and use the hashtag BBC Stumped. And check us out on YouTube too. Go to the BBC World Service YouTube channel. My thanks to Charu Sharma and to Jim Maxwell, and to all of you for listening. Thanks very much. Goodbye.